to press that button, and I think we are now live. I think we're live. As always with these live streams, let me know if you can hear me and you can see us okay. And welcome to a live playthrough of Mini Express using the new UK map. This is a prototype copy of one of the two maps which is coming out in an upcoming Kickstarter. My ideas are going back to Kickstarter with Mini Express with the expansion pack. There's going to be a Taiwan map and a UK map. The UK map is designed by Tony Boydell, who we all know, and I believe you're doing some work for.
No. No.
You've given him some suggestions on a possible expansion for one of his other games.
No, I sort of designed one and then sent it to him without him asking.
Right, and you've not heard from him since?
He said he thought it was alright, didn't he? But yeah.
Tony might be in the chat tonight. We will see. He's in the chat. And he's just said that there's going to be 4 maps in the expansion. Yeah, so I know that there's going to be Taiwan and the UK, but I also, thank you Tony for the reminder, I did see earlier this week there's going to be another 2 maps in the expansion as well. Japan, and possibly another one.
Okay.
Now, you two were last on the channel, how long ago was it? November last year.
Yeah.
So you've been slacking.
No.
You've not had any good reason whatsoever. No, you have.
Excuses.
You have had a very good reason why they've not been here. Congratulations
Thanks very
from
much.
all of my supporters. Because when I told them that you're back on the channel tonight, they said, "Oh, we've not seen you for ages." And it's like, yeah, they've been a bit busy.
Yeah. We've got a lot on.
Yeah, they got a lot on. So for those people who don't know, Nick and Gemma have had their first child, Harriet,
Yeah.
who is
Kind of 6 months.
6 months now.
6 months, yeah.
And this is almost the first time you've been away from home?
No, we do bits and pieces.
Okay.
But yeah, it's...
First time you've been out gaming?
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
Excellent. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to crack on. The first thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to actually teach you how to play the base game of Mini Express for our benefit as well as your benefit. If you already know how to play Mini Express, go and make a cup of coffee and come back in 5 minutes' time. But then we're going to cover the changes to the UK map. So, Mini Express is all about building rail networks in 4 different companies represented by the brown track, the grey track, the orange track and the white track. They will all start in a particular space on the board, and on the UK map they all start in London. And this is an unusual map to teach you on because the white track in this game works very differently. But if you imagine the normal game of Mini Express, you have 4 different companies. The right hand track here, this represents the length of that company's tracks. You're a little quiet. It's probably I'm just too noise. I'm too loud. That's what it is. So this represents the length of that company's tracks, and it's the value of the company. It's a game about getting shares. We are all going to start with 1 share in each of the 2 companies. In each of 2 companies, and in a normal game, the white company would be available as well. On the UK map, the white company is special, so we can't start with any shares in the white company. But normally, the white company would be here. We'd all start with 2 shares. You can gain shares as the game goes on, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to be building track across here, connecting these cities. Moving into a city will increase your influence, and then at the end of the game, which happens when 2 of the companies have all of their shares depleted. And the dice on them, by the way, is to show you, watching at home, how many shares there are in that pile. The dice doesn't come with the game, but obviously if I didn't have the dice there, you wouldn't have any idea how many shares there are. So that's why I'm using the dice, just to show you how many shares there are left in the pile. So when 2 of the companies are depleted, we finish that round. We haven't yet determined a start player, but you finish that round and then we do final scoring. So final scoring is, you look at the value of a company. So let's say Brown ended the game here. The player with the most influence, which is based on this track here, will get 8 points per share that they have.
Okay, yeah.
So essentially, if you've got lots of shares in a company, you want the most influence in that company and you want the company's value to be high. However, if you look at it, it's 874. So even if you've got the second most shares in that company, even if you've got the second most influence, your shares are still worth 7. So 3 shares worth 7 is better than 2 shares worth 8.
Yeah.
Okay. This is for other. Now we're playing a 3-player game today, so effectively this is first, second, and third. If there's a tie for first, both players get the second, and everybody else gets the other. If there's a tie for second, both players get the second. I think that's right. I read this afternoon, and now I've just forgotten it. game end, final scoring. If there's a tie for first place, tie for first place, all tied players are rewarded first place, but there's no second place.
Say that again, sorry.
If there's a tie for first place in terms of influence,
Yeah.
all tied players get the first, but then you skip the second, and everybody else gets the other.
Understood, yeah.
If there's a tie for second, all tied players get the second, with the one player at the front getting the first. Because this is like a 1 to 5 player game, I think.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get influence with the companies, because the influence that you have in the company will determine the value of your shares. So you need all three things. You need the shares, you need the influence, but you also want to be increasing the value of the company.
Okay.
Right. So on your turn, very simple. You've got two options. You either buy a share or you build track. So I'll explain buying the share first, because nobody can do it at the start of the game. The reason is we all start off with one influence in each of the 4 different companies. So I'm purple, Gemma's red. If you just pop your little thing there so we can see what colour you are, you're turquoise. And to buy a share costs you an amount of influence equal to the number of trains currently in the supply. Now I've got a zoom in, there we go. So at the start of the game, there are 4 trains in the supply for each company. There's normally 4 here. It's 2 because this is the UK map. Just imagine that there was 4 here. So at the start of the game, if you wanted to buy a share as your first action, it would cost you 4 influence. Yeah. Which is why none of us can do that at the start of the game. But if you did do that, so let's say for example, there was only 1 train there and it was my turn. I could say I'm going to use my influence in grey to buy a share in grey, and that is mine. Okay. And then what happens is whenever you buy a share, you add 3 more trains to the stock. Okay. We will forget to do that at various times, so please let us know if we forget to do it. But that's how new trains will get added back in. Yeah. Now, the second action that you can do is to build track. This is a little bit more complicated, but you can build track with any of the 4 companies. You do not need to have shares in that company. You simply select which one you want to build in, and you build from their start location, which on this map is London, but on the other maps, the location is different. You don't always have to start from here. So let's say, for example, the orange company had gone and built track all the way up to here. You can branch off from anywhere. Absolutely anywhere, even in the middle of the country. Then what you do is you decide which city you're building towards. So you don't, unlike other games, you don't go, oh, I'm going to build 3 pieces of track. Where shall I build? What you do is you choose a city to build towards, and you then must build the shortest route to that city. So it doesn't have to be the nearest city, but whichever city you choose, it has to be the nearest one. You have to build the shortest route. It cannot go through other cities. It can go through other people's tracks. So if the grey company has a track there, for example, then you can build through it. But building into a hex containing another company, that company gets compensation. They get extra trains added into their supply to a maximum of 5. So let's say, for example, on the first turn of the game, you decide, I'm going to build track with the orange company and I want to go to Northampton. What you do is you will put 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Or you could go there, there, and there, or you could go there and there. Whichever way you do it, that is the shortest route. And then you build to Northampton. Now, that does 2 things. You count the number of empty hexes that you've built through, and the company's value goes up by that amount. So the city itself doesn't count, but all of the countryside hexes, every one increases the value by 1. That's increasing the value of the company. The next thing is you, as a player, gain influence based on the token that's on the thing. Now, these tokens were randomly placed at the start of the game. And in that one, you would gain 1 influence with the cotton company and with the wood company. Okay. Now, the normal game uses these wild tiles. These wild tiles are one of the normal resources plus a wild resource. We're not using them on the UK map, but you normally do use these in a game. And you would get that and then something else that wasn't that. But we're not using them. So that's how you increase your influence. Building track increases the value of the company and increases your influence. Why do you want influence? You need influence to buy shares, and influence determines the value of your shares at the end of the game based on the company. Other than that, the cities are valued 1, 2, and 3. And again, the UK map doesn't have any value 3 cities, but that indicates the number of different companies that can be in that city. So Northampton is a 1. So as soon as Orange built in there, you might as well remove that token because nobody else can go in there. Whereas Birmingham is a 2.
Yeah.
So the first 2 companies that go in there, the player who does that gets that, and then you can remove the token. And I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that is all of the rules of the game. It is basically buy a share or build track.
Okay.
And when you buy a share, new trains get added to here. The thing to be careful of, and if you haven't played this game, definitely watch out for this. Let's say I'm going first, and I decide to build with Orange, and I decide to build to Birmingham. That would use all 4 of these pieces, and I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I might think, that's a great idea. What I've done is I have set Gemma up. Gemma can now buy a share in Orange for 0 influence. So if you leave an area with no trains in it, then the next player can literally just take a share for free. In my experience, I'm no expert at the game, that is something you always want to do. Why wouldn't you?
Well, I remember you did that a couple of times last time, I think, didn't you? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
What about compensation?
So compensation is if, let's just go back to this, let's say I did that. Every time that one company builds track into a hex that already contains another company, and these countryside hexes can have 1 track of every company, that company gets compensation. So if Grey comes along and Grey says, oh, I'll tell you what, I like that idea, I'm also going to build to Birmingham, and literally does, well, let's say they build to Northampton, and they go there, and there. Orange will get 2 compensation in terms of trains added to here.
Yeah.
So every time you build into a hex where there is another company, that company gets compensation. That's it. That's the compensation rule. And that applies to cities as well.
Yeah. Okay. What about ferries?
So that's part of the UK map.
Yep.
But I think we're done with the rules for the base game.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So if you don't know how to play Mini Express, you now know how to play Mini Express. Right, the UK map, we have some special rules.
Cool.
The first special rule that I will talk about is the White Company. So the White Company in the UK map works very differently. The White Company represents the London Underground.
Okay.
The company value starts at 8 rather than 0. The White Company cannot be starting shares. We can't start with any shares in the White Company. Whenever you build track with the White Company, you only ever build 1 train, and it has to go on one of those 6 spaces there. Okay? It cannot go anywhere else. Those 6 spaces have a number in them that tells you how much the value of the White Company increases. That's it. So the White Company represents the London Underground and surrounding networks, and it can never go out beyond that. Now, if the White Company builds onto a space that contains another train, as well as the Orange Company getting compensation, the player who placed this gets 1 influence with that company. So that's how the White Company works. The other difference with the White Company is these values do not apply to the White Company. The White Company can have a maximum of 2 trains here, and the value here instead of 3 is 1.
Okay.
So whenever you buy a share in the White Company, the restock value is it's only ever 1, up to a maximum of 2.
Okay.
That's that. Right, ferries.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's various points on the board which have ferries, and what these do is it's a quick way, or in some cases the only way, of linking 2 places. So to get from Holyhead to Dublin, you can get a ferry, or if you wanted to go from Liverpool to Glasgow, you can get a ferry. Now you probably can't see this on the overhead camera, but there is a little number 2 here.
Yeah.
Basically, it is like there is 2 spaces. What you do is, let's say the Orange Company, now I'm using the Orange a lot as an example, Brown's getting jealous. So let's say the Brown Company was already in Liverpool. I could, for 3 track, build to Glasgow. I'd put 2 in there, and then 1 in Glasgow. Okay? That increases the value of the company by 2, because it counts as 2 countryside spaces. But that's how the ferries work. I don't think there's any other rules differences with the ferries. In fact, I've got a zoom in point. Is it this one here? Yeah, we've got a zoom in point here. So these are the ferries here. So to build from Blackpool to the Isle of Man, you just put 2 trains in there and 1 train in there. Mm-hmm. While we're talking about the Isle of Man, we have some new icons. You'll notice that one of these counters is not on the Isle of Man. So there are a number of spaces on this map with these wild resource icons. And that means whenever you build there, you get to choose whichever influence you want, but it has to be different.
Yeah.
So the Isle of Man has got 3 icons. Mm-hmm. So you can basically gain influence with one of 3 different companies. The other thing to mention is these. Some of the cities, so Holyhead, for example, has got 1. Now, normally, when you build into a city, that doesn't increase the value of the company. The value of a company only increases with countryside hexes. That does increase the value of a company.
Okay.
So it's just an extra little tweak to it.
Okay.
So we've covered the ferries, we've covered the wild resources, we've covered the White Company, which is the underground, and we've also covered these extra bonuses here. What we haven't covered is this.
Okay.
Okay, so what we do is we track the number of shares that have been taken. So every time in the game somebody buys a share, we will forget to move it, and then a minute later somebody in the chat will say, don't forget to move the counter.
And like, did we rewind
And
it?
did we? Yeah, and so every time a share is taken in the game, we move this down 1 or up 1. Once it gets to 8, these values, instead of being +3 and a maximum of 5, become +4 and a maximum of 6. Ooh. It basically speeds up. The game speeds up a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a reminder that the White Company, it's always a restock value of 1 and it's always a maximum of 2. Understood. Always. Yeah. That does not change. I think that's everything.
Red lines.
Red lines. Yeah. Let me just see if we can see the red line on here. I'm going to move this around a little bit. There. You can just about see there was a red line between Liverpool and Manchester. That red line cannot be crossed. Mm-hmm. So if you want to build from Liverpool to Manchester, you can go round, but you cannot go through red lines. So there's various red lines on the board.
One here.
One here. And I've noticed, actually, there's one all the way around London.
Right. Oh, because you can't build back to your... No, you wouldn't build back to yourself, would you?
I don't think that red line around London is a red line. Does that signify it's a
starting point?
I think that signifies it's a starting point. I think I'll get them to change that. This is a prototype, but I don't think that is a red line.
See, the base game's got... Is that red?
Yeah, that's red. Yeah. Okay, so this red line here is not a red line, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to build out at the start of the game. Yeah. So, as I say, this is a prototype. We are using the rules as they are written at the moment. I don't know when the game finally comes out, whether these rules are going to be the exact rules. So if you're watching this video in a year's time, there might be some changes. But as of right now, this is the rules for this version of the game. And Tony is saying the speeding up represents the founding of the big 4 companies. There we go. Yeah, there is a little bit of historical information at the start of the rulebook that explains this is basically after the war. Mm-hmm. And what happened is the London Underground was growing, the network was growing and everything else, and there was a big movement to basically organise what was all of these different rails into the 4 main companies. Okay. So, yeah.
Cool.
Right, we need to decide who's going to start. Somebody want to pick a start player? Mm. This is the new Kickstarter exclusive start player marker. It's very, very nice.
Well, I remember the rules say that it's the last person to go on a train.
It is. Do we want to use that official?
I was trying to think what you were talking about. I can't remember last time I went on a train.
The official rules are the last person to get on a train. So I got on a train when I came back from Essen, October last year.
I got on a train.
Let's do it at random.
I don't think I have. Let's do it at random.
Let's do it at random. Come on, do you want to pick?
What, me pick a person? Here you go. Whoever lands close to the 6. It's me, isn't it?
They're pretty much all about the same distance from the 6.
Let's say Gemma can start then. Let's be nice.
Okay, right. There you go. So you've got that. So what that means is, just as a reminder, the game ends once 2 of the company's shares are depleted.
Yeah.
And it ends at the end of that round. Mm-hmm. I will be the last player in the round. So if I'm the player that causes that to happen, the game ends immediately.
Yeah.
So as we've discussed, you have 2 options on your turn, and you can't do the first one, which is buying a share. Oh, yes, we need to do that. So first of all, you get to choose 1 share certificate. Then you get to choose 1. Mm-hmm. Then I get to choose 2. Then you get to choose 1. You get to choose the last one.
Okay.
The rules are you can't take the same one twice.
Yeah.
And also the rules are that you can't end up with the same combination as somebody else.
Okay.
Now, taking out the white one, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll find out. This is for a 3-player game. This is the rules set up for a 3-player game. It is slightly different. Yeah, I've lost influence already. There you go. Thank you. It is slightly different depending on the player count. So I'm just going to check for a 3-player game on the UK map. We are drafting 2 each of the orange, brown, and grey. Do not draft the white shares. Okay, this is the 3-player game setup. It is slightly different for 2 players, 4 players, and presumably 5 players. So, which of these would you like to start with? At the moment, I'm thinking, well, I think expert players would be looking at the map for potentially where they could grow to, but I don't know.
Can I get an orange, please?
You see, you're choosing orange because they were doing so well when Paul was doing the rules, aren't you?
Exactly.
I'd like a grey, please.
Okay, well, I'm also going to take orange. And then I'm going to choose... so this is where we've potentially broken the game. If I take brown, you can't take 2 grey, so you're going to have to take brown. Now,
Grey.
the rules... So, the rules about 2 players not starting with the same colour combination apply to the base game. I don't know if they apply to this version.
Right. So you can't choose orange then, basically. So that's it, really, isn't it? You have to choose. Everyone has to choose.
Yeah,
a different colour.
we'll go with that. I'll choose grey,
I
which
choose
means
grey,
you take brown.
Right.
You
Oh,
take
I see.
brown.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. But yeah, I will find out what would have happened if I'd have chosen brown.
Yeah.
Because normally, in a 3-player game, you would have 2 shares from each of the 4 companies, and therefore players would have choice. And then the 2 shares that aren't taken get removed from the game, and the value of those companies go up.
Okay.
So that's what normally happens with the 3-player game in the base game. Right, we are now ready to start.
So these don't move here based on what we've picked?
Nope.
No.
No, that just gives us, we've got a little bit more investment in these companies than the other ones.
Okay.
Right then.
Okay, I'm going to build some track. I'm going to use 2 orange trains.
Yep.
And so, do you have to put one in London first?
Nope. No, I think they all start there. Let's not put them on. But yeah, what you would do, no, let's put them on. That's what you're supposed to do. So there is supposed to be 1 train from each of the starting companies there.
Okay.
So you're going to build from orange. Where are you going to build
I
to?
was going to go there, into there.
Into Reading, yeah.
Yeah.
So you build there
Yeah.
and then there. So the value of orange increases by 1, and you gain 2 influence with the
orange, yeah.
leather company. 1, 2.
And is that number 1 or
That is a number
number
2.
2?
So another company can go in there.
Okay. Cool. Quick turns, aren't they? So
Yeah.
I would like...
Again, you still can't buy a share because although the value of orange shares, not the value of them, but the
I've only
cost
got
of buying
1.
an orange share is 2.
Yeah.
We've only got 1 influence.
I'm going to grab 2 greys,
Mhm.
and I'm going to go 1, 2 to here. I'll take that one off because that's...
Take that one off because, yep.
And then I get to go 2 up this grey track here,
Yeah, and the value of grey has gone up by 1. So I'm going to put the grey trains face down. I think they're easier to see on the overhead camera.
You said the value of grey went up by 1, yeah?
Went up by 1 because you've built into 1
Ah,
countryside
yeah,
hex.
okay.
So I'm going to do something different. I don't know whether this is the right thing to do or not, but I am going to build part of the London Underground.
Okay.
So I'm going to take 1, I'm going to put it here. So because there's a +2 on there, in fact, do I want it? Oh yeah, because I was going to say, I don't have any shares in that. Nobody's got any shares in that. So I'm going to put that on there. White goes up by 2, but also because I've built into there, I get 1 influence with grey. Now, I have no idea whether that was a good move or not. I just wanted to do something different.
I like it.
But now, back to Gemma, your options are quite open now because you could buy a share in white, you could buy a share in orange, and this is the tricky part of the game. You've currently got the most influence in orange, which is great, but you'd have to spend 2 of that influence in order to buy another share.
Yeah. I think I'm going to build just some more track with the brown into Cambridge.
So you're going to build
If
to
I choose
Cambridge.
that as 2.
So yeah, so shortest route to Cambridge is there and then there.
Yeah.
So the value of brown goes up by 1, and you get influence in
Brown.
wood company and in the leather company. Okay.
Is that another 2? Yeah.
So you can see all of the 2 cities are kind of white, and the 1 cities are kind of a dark metal-y colour. It's all looking very busy around there.
I'm going to do something different as well. I'm going to buy a share, in white.
Thought you
I
might.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that costs you 1 influence with white.
Yeah. So
You
that
drop
one
your influence
moves
down by
there
1.
to 0. Yeah.
There are 4 shares remaining in white. That is yours.
Thank you very much.
And we add 1 extra train to there.
And this one moves up.
That one moves on. 1 share has been bought. Why did grey go up by 1 instead of 2? So the value of a company increases by 1 for every countryside hex they build into, not city hexes, only the countryside hexes.
With the exception of.
With the exception of these new cities for the UK map. So you can always work back. You can see, well, brown should be 1, orange should be 1, grey should be 1. So yeah, you can always track back and look at that.
Okay.
Right. Well, I was going to buy a white share if you didn't. As it is, I think I'm going to buy a grey share. So a grey share is actually going to cost me 2 influence. Now, if you're at 0, forget this. No matter how many shares you've got, if you have no influence, they're not worth anything. I'm going to buy a grey share. It's 4 remaining. And that adds 3 grey trains to here. So that is now up to its maximum of 5. And we pop that down.
Sorry, you had 2 influence there.
I had 2 influence.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, sorry, you done that.
And that's gone. So that's it. I've now got 2 shares in grey. Tony's shouting share track. We remembered.
We did that.
We got it.
And so can you still buy a white...
It will cost you 2 influence in
Cost you 2.
white. But yes, you can.
You can.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm going to spend 2 to buy another influence in orange, please.
So you are spending 2 of your orange influence to buy an orange share.
Thank you.
That goes down to 4.
This
That
one
moves
goes
on
to
1 and we get 3 more orange trains. So 3. The other thing to mention about the UK map is there are only 5 of each share here at the start of the game. Normally in a 3-player game there's 6.
Okay.
So on the UK map there is only 5 of each share at the start of the game. So I imagine it's slightly quicker.
Let's see what's under the. I'm going to. I'm trying to work out what I want to get. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to. So if I go into a white one here, that moves me 1 up this track here?
Yes.
Okay.
So you gain influence by building into the cities with these
Yeah.
tokens.
Okay. I'm going to go for a bit of a long one. I'm going to do a 3
With grey.
with grey.
And that's good because I've got 2 shares in grey.
Excellent.
So
Yeah, good to you. Paul.
I'm happy with that.
Remember that.
I was about to do exactly the same thing.
I'm going to go 1. What, this exact move?
No.
2.
I was going to go to Dover.
I'm going to go 3.
Yep.
So I go up 1 on
So
the white, so that
you
puts me
gain
back to 0.
1 influence with white, 1 influence with grey,
Which is here.
and the value of grey goes up by 2.
So that one then goes
Yeah. And
1,
that,
2.
again, can be removed.
Yeah. Low stock.
Done.
Okay.
So I won't build to Dover because I can't get there. But I'll tell you what, I can get to Norwich. But if I do, it's going to use both of these, which is going to give Gemma a free share in grey. Don't want to do that. So I think I'm going to build with orange.
Okay.
We're going to build 3 with orange. And we are going to go where I was initially going to go, but I was going to go there with grey. So, a few things happen. The value of orange goes up by 2 because of that, but then because of this new key to the city bonus, Orange goes up by another 1. And I get influence with cotton and steel. So cotton and steel.
Okay.
Done that, done that, done that. Yeah, we're done. Okay, so 2 trains left in each company's supply.
I am going to buy another stock in orange.
Another one in orange,
Yeah, so
reducing
I'll be
your
down to
influence down to 0, but getting you another share in orange. There's 3 left. We're going to add 3 new trains to here, and that moves on to 4. There we go. Tony's given us tactical advice.
Is he?
Yeah. Forging across to Holyhead,
Rich Pickens. Okay.
because then Dublin, yeah, these are really good. I mean, you get influence. If you go to Dublin, you get 1 influence with every company.
It's not bad, is it? It's
very
going
good.
the wrong way.
It's very good. We are going the wrong way. We're going down here. I'm off to France.
Yeah. So if I put a white one here, I get 1 up on white and 2 up on orange. Is that correct?
No.
No.
You'll get 1 up. You'll gain 1 influence with orange,
Right.
but the value of the white company would go up by 2. You don't get influence with the white company.
Do I not?
No.
Okay. I need to buy some shares, really.
Yeah, Gemma's got 4. We've both got 3.
I'm going to spend 2 influence in grey
Okay.
to go down there, and I'll take a stock, please.
There you go. Have a grey
Shall I
share.
write this one down?
Yeah.
3 more
This is
greys.
moving up really quick. I wasn't expecting it to go up this quickly.
Yeah. Well, we're all. I want to speak to other people who've played this game a lot to see how much people spend for shares, because we're spending 2. There are other people who play this who would never spend 2 for a share. They'd only ever buy it if it was like 1 or 0. But because we've all played before and we know to try and avoid giving somebody a free share, we're kind of avoiding it.
Well, do you know what as well? The thing is, I've got Gemma sat to the right of me.
Exactly.
And I know that she would rather lose points herself
Than
than
give
give
you
me
points.
points for free.
So I'm in the good seat
She's
today.
so cutthroat.
Right. Now we've got lots of trains here.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose all of my white influence yet, because white is a very, very valuable company at the moment. So I think I'm going to build track again. And I think I am going to build in... no, it's building grey. I've got 2 shares in grey. I'm going to build from Lowestoft. Do we want to build from Lowestoft? Or do we want to build to the Isle of Wight? What is it that I actually want? I think we're going to...
there, don't forget.
Yeah, there's one here as well.
Oh, is there?
I'm going to build to the Isle of Wight. So we're going to go here and then here, because I can't go across the red border. So the value of grey goes up by 1 for the country and 1 for the key to the city. Goes up to there.
Yeah.
And I gain influence with white and orange. So white and orange. Done.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm going to build some track. I'm going to take 4 of the oranges, please.
4 of the oranges.
Goodness.
Where is orange
And I'm
going
going
to?
to go to
Welshpool.
Walshpool, yes.
So you've got various options. That's got to go there.
I would like to go that
Yeah,
way, if
straight
that's
there.
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Right.
allowed.
So the value of orange increases by 3. 1, 2, 3.
And I get 2.
You get 2 influence with white.
white.
1, 2. And the token stays on because it's a value 2 city. There you go.
Wow.
Would you like a cheap orange share?
Yeah, I will.
You're going to take it?
Yeah.
So you spend your 1 influence in orange
Yeah. Thanks
to
very
buy an
much.
orange share. There's only 2 left.
See, I know if I didn't, that you would buy that one. You would have gone for that,
I
wouldn't you?
probably would have done.
For 1, yeah.
We're on 6. 6
Yeah.
shares have been bought. Right.
So because there's only 2 oranges left,
Yeah.
that would mean I'm always going to be number
You-
1 if I have the most.
So having the most
influence.
shares doesn't get you anything. it's having the most influence that tells you how many your shares are worth.
Okay.
But because you've got 3 shares, you want to really have the most influence because then your shares are worth the most.
Yeah.
But it could be that you've got the most. It could be that Nick ends up with the most influence in Orange. It could be.
Could be.
And then his 1 share is worth more than our share, more than our individual shares.
Do you think you got too many eggs in one basket?
Oh, I think I
You
think
specialise.
Well, as long as you start connecting all of these orange places,
Yeah.
then
On that one, Joey. When you
then you're okay. So
What are you going to do, Paul?
I'm thinking that I want to go. Well, I was going to do that, but then I changed my mind. Oh, we've got that as well. I've just noticed. I'm going to build with the orange into Hastings.
Okay.
So the value of the company doesn't increase because I've not built any countryside track, but I get influence with that and that. So I've got loads of influence with white, and I don't have any white shares yet.
For now.
But I have a plan. I do have a plan.
Okay.
So my
You'll go? Yep.
I am going to build a grey into Reading.
Yep.
Because I can do that, and then he will
You can.
come off.
That comes off. So that goes
That's an
there,
excellent
and you
move.
simply get
2 influence.
Yeah, 2 influence in orange. Yeah, good move. I should have done that. The game is about looking at the board and seizing those opportunities, isn't it?
There's not many trains out.
Are you in a position to buy a share? You're not really, are you?
No, I've got lots of shares and not a lot of influence really. I need to sort that out.
Oh, this might be a good
Remind
move for
me.
Yep.
The 1 that goes at +1 in whatever colour.
It increases the value of the company
Yeah.
for building into Norwich.
Do I do it?
Go on, do it.
Go on.
Let's do
It's gonna
it.
be so nice to you, Paul.
Oh.
Like I say, be lucky that it's me to your. Does it make any difference where I go from? Probably not really. So I'll do that.
No, it has to.
You can't go from Cambridge.
Yeah. It's got to come from here, isn't it? That looked brown. That looked grey when I looked at it. Okay, so I go up. What? That's a 1. So that comes
So
off.
the value of the grey company goes up by 1 for the countryside and 1 for the key to the city.
1,
2. You gain influence with the steel company and the leather company.
The orange company. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
and
I
then the
needed.
token is
obviously.
removed. Right, well, I will buy a share in grey
I didn't see that.
because it's free. So I'll have my 3rd share in grey. We get 3 more grey trains,
And this one goes.
and that's now on 7. So as soon as this goes to there,
4 mil.
that restock value takes effect immediately. So in other words, you buy the 8th share and you restock at 4 on the purchase of the 8th share. Right. So I've got these 3 grey shares. I probably want to have influence in grey, which I don't have.
Tony said you should take the 3. and
That
go
is
there.
what I was thinking of doing.
That would make
But
more
I don't really
sense,
want
yeah.
to leave you with.
That means you'd get a free grey
You
share.
see, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So if you go on the ferry, does it increase the?
Counts as 2 countryside
2
spaces. Yeah. So the
countryside.
value of grey would increase by 2, which for you is not great
No.
because you don't have any shares in grey. You want to increase the value of orange.
But I could increase my influence.
So that's a move I was looking at with orange because then you can have
Yeah.
2 influence with
Orange.
whatever to. Well,
Anything else?
no, you have to be different, but yeah, one of those could be orange. But then you'd give Nick a free orange share.
Or a grey share.
Yeah, if you did grey.
I think I might do the orange one.
Okay, you're doing it?
I'm going to do it.
Okay, so 2 of them go there and 1 goes there. So that increases the value of orange by 2. And you can have any 2 different influences.
So I want to go 1 in grey.
Yeah.
And 1 in orange.
Okay,
I think.
Tony is saying that you could claim a wild orange and white in Middlesbrough.
Is that Oop
Oh,
North?
yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
And then start buying the white shares. I mean, that's what I'm potentially looking at doing. But, Nick, would you like a free orange
There's only
share?
one move. Do you know what I was going to do? I was going to do the 3 greys up to here, but I thought...
You were? Okay.
I was giving away too much. I'm giving you 1 each for 3. It's only hurting me, really. So I'm mad for stocks, but not mad for influence.
So, that is the 8th share.
Straight.
So there we go. So I'm restocking 4. So suddenly trains have got better, faster, stronger,
I like that.
and there's now only 1 share left in the Orange Company. Right. So, I'm not quite in the position I wanted to be before I do the thing that I was going to do. But I think this works. I think I am going to build the 3. And it's going to be the Tony Boydell ferry to Middlesbrough. So Grey's going to go up by 2. And I am going to take 2 different influences. I'm going to have white. I'm going to have grey, aren't I? I've got 3 shares in grey. Done. This could be a very, very quick game.
I was just going to
It's going to
say,
speed up
are we
really
playing?
quickly.
Because we are absolutely hammering these 2 companies.
Yeah, I don't think we built any brown. We built 2 brown.
Brown has sort of started, gone to Cambridge and set up a little cafe and,
Yeah.
and is comfortable there eating pastries.
Yeah,
This is just an unusual game the way it's gone.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I have to take the
Quickest game ever.
grey one now.
There we go.
I didn't see that coming. So 4 go on there now.
4 go on there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a rule I haven't mentioned. Off camera, I have a big supply of trains, right? If ever the supply runs out of one type of train, that company's shares get depleted immediately. But just to give you an idea,
Could that happen?
it can, but I think
Right.
it's rare.
Okay.
So I'll just leave them here, just in a nice big pile. There is a nice little organizer, but I've not used the organizer.
Okay.
Who was that?
Ooh, okay.
That was
I just had my go, so it's Nick's go.
you had your go and you bought the grey share.
Grey
didn't you?
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've got a good move. I'm going to go for 3 of these. And I'm going to go 1, 2
Torquay.
to talk.
Yeah.
So orange goes
Orange
up by
goes
2.
up by 2,
1, 2 up on orange.
and you get 2 different influence.
I get to choose. So it's got to be orange because I've got 2 stocks there. And do I want a comfortable lead in grey or do I want to come up on the white? I suppose probably best to come up there.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know if that's a good move or not.
So you're on 2, on 3. Yeah. I was about to buy a share in white. I mean, it's probably still worth it. Yeah, it is. I'm going to buy a share in white. So that cost me 2 white influence. And I'm going to buy a share in white.
Okay.
3 shares left. The restock doesn't restock because the restock value is 1 to a maximum of 2, and there's still 2 in there. Okay, so you've got a white share as well, haven't you? So
Yeah.
we've both got white shares.
I'm feeling a bit stressed.
It feels quite edgy and competitive, this, doesn't it?
I just feel sorry for Chrissy and Brett that are watching because they live near Aberdeen.
We're never going
And-
to get there the way we're
we're
going.
not going to get anywhere
They're
near.
neglected, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do... Oh, I don't know, actually.
The AP's got you.
Because it's stressful. It's really stressful.
It's a small decision that has
Big
quite a big
consequences, yeah.
impact.
So is Nick gonna buy that last orange stock anyway? So do I use the train?
Well, if he buys it, 4 more trains are going to get added.
And then, I mean, we're tied in terms
But again,
of...
the number of share certificates you've got doesn't
No.
change anything.
Except from he could get 7 points. Will get
Yeah.
7 points. I'm going to do it. I'm going to use the orange train and I'm going to go...
Can't do that. There's a red line.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that.
There's a red line from Torquay to Plymouth, so you
Oh.
can't build there, I'm afraid.
Okay, I'm going to go use 2 grey trains into Bristol
Into Bristol
and take 2 up
from Reading, where
from... yeah, can I go from
you
this
can go
side?
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the value of grey goes up by 1, and you gain 2 influence in the Brown Company. So your 1 brown share is worth, at the moment, 4. Right. Nick.
Okay, so I put a white train here. I got 2 influence in orange. Is that correct?
No. You got 1 influence in orange, because there's an orange track there, but white would go up in value by 2.
Oh, I asked that last time, didn't I? I go up in orange, you said.
Yes, you would go up, you would gain influence in the company that's already built a track
Oh, okay.
in that location, which is good for you.
Yeah, why not?
Okay,
What's the worst that can happen? I do that, and I go up.
so you go 1 influence in orange,
So we're all tied.
and the white company goes up
2.
2. So just as a reminder, if we are all tied,
We all get first.
we all get first place.
Well,
But it also means who's going to buy this one? Because to be honest, me having that worth 8 or 2 worth 7, well, 2 worth 7, please. Thank you very much.
I feel sorry for Brown all the way down here.
Yeah, well, Gemma's got
I think
some influence in Brown now.
Yeah.
So your brown share is... You probably want...
You can get 4
Brown to
points
go
in
up a
that,
bit.
Gemma.
It is just odd how it's happened. We've all kind of built orange and grey and kind of left brown not to do much. We also forgot the track compensation here.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, I knew I was going to forget that. So you've built into there, so orange should have got 1 compensation
Ah.
for building into there. We did forget the track compensation here, I'm afraid, and probably also here.
Oh, dear.
But we'll try and remember that from now on.
That was like your first move, wasn't
I
it?
know,
Going in
yeah.
there?
Yeah, I always forget the track compensation. Right, so... I was thinking of building brown, but there isn't anywhere I can build brown without building 2, which gives Gemma a free share. And if I build white, that gives Gemma a free white share,
I love it.
which I don't want. So at the moment, my white is worth 9. I'm going to buy another white share. So that cost me 1 white influence, but that gets restocked. I've now got 2 shares in white that are currently worth 7 each. Don't know. Seems all right.
I was going to buy a white stock. I know I'll have to go down 2
It
though.
would cost you 2 influence, putting you on 0. You can still do that.
Will it put me on 0 or 1?
You're on 2 at the moment. Oh no, sorry, you're 3. You want to do it?
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
do that.
right,
Yes,
there we go.
thank you.
Same argument. 2 at 7 is worth more than 1. Oh no, you've actually that's your first one, isn't
It's
it?
my first one.
So yeah,
I
that
was-
has helped me. It means mine are now worth 9 each.
Okay.
So there's 1 share left in white. There's 1 share left in orange,
And 1 shell
And
left
in
in
grey.
and 1 share left in grey. It's a quick game.
Brown's looking good, though, isn't
It is a quick game.
I think I got a really good move, but I can't decide. I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, I'm going to take 1 orange, and I'm just going to build into here.
Into Birmingham,
Yeah, so I get a...
you go up influence in
And watch. Oh,
1 in orange. 1 grey. Oh, look at that.
look at that.
Yeah. Right, okay. Well, at this point, it's not worked out now, has it? I need influence in white. How can I get influence in white from where I am? I could do that. Is that going to help me? In fact, do I need influence in white? I'm tied with you, so all it's going to do is cost you points. If I get influence in white, I don't get any more points.
No.
My worry is if you get influence in white. Brown is in a bit of an odd position. Orange has only got one track there, so I could build into Northampton with that. That would get you a free orange share, which you would probably take. You definitely would take.
What is orange? Gemma? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like worth 7 for nothing. So I'm thinking, since I've got 2 shares in white and I'm joint first in white, then again, if I increase the value of white anymore, it's not actually making the shares worth anymore. Unless I increase the value of white by 3, it's not doing anything. This is tricky.
This is the same board as the base game.
This,
isn't it?
yeah, that's not changed. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's just work this out. If that happens and that happens, if I was to buy grey, sorry, if I was to build with grey, no, I'm going to build white. We're going to build it. We're going to build it here. So what that does is it moves white up by 2. Grey gets 1 compensation. So white's gone up by 2. Grey's got a compensation, and I gain 1 influence with grey. Done. Wow.
I'm going to buy 1 stock in brown down to influence.
So it costs you 2 influence. There you go. Have that. There's 4 left. And we're going to add 4 more in. So there's 6 brown track available.
Brown's not really got anywhere on the map though, is it? That's the thing.
No. And it's not really in my interest to build in brown. Except for building into a place where it's going to get me the influence.
I mean, is it the only brown bits of...
Yeah, that's it. It's gone from London to Cambridge and that's it.
It's not even like there's anywhere good here that you would want to build out of and into, really, I don't think, is there?
Well, Grey's made it as far north as Middlesbrough, but that's it. Right, so I need... Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to do this. 1, 2.
Okay,
So I go up in white
so you go up in white and grey.
and in grey.
Yeah, that's the move I was going to do. And grey goes up by 2.
2.
2, because of the key to the city.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And that gets removed. Yeah. That's what I was looking at doing.
Ooh.
Well, only because I want influence in white and grey.
Yeah.
And that had it. Now, is there anywhere else on the board that's got influence in white and grey that isn't one of these fancy wild locations? I don't know whether there is.
Only down
Oh, there's here.
in the...
Oh, they're down here in Penzance, yeah. Tricky to get to, especially with brown. So I was thinking of building with brown. Yeah, it's all lumber companies around here, isn't it? Gosh. What about other 2 valued? No, they've been taken. That's been taken. Wow, yeah. So all of a sudden, my white shares are now only worth 8 instead of 9.
That's not much of a difference, though, is it?
No. My grey shares are worth 7 instead of 9. So, the question is, do we bother building with brown, which I don't think helps me, really.
But what
at
could
all.
you get? Let's be honest. You could go to here or here. Or you
I could go all the way over here. But the only thing, I mean, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could go to Welshpool.
Yeah, you could.
But what I'm doing is I'm increasing the value of brown by 4, basically giving Gemma an extra 4 points, you an extra 2 points, in order for me to get an extra 2 points. It's probably not worth it, because I don't have any shares in brown. So I think, under the circumstances, I am going to buy the last remaining grey share. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who knows whether that was the right thing to do or not. So, Gemma.
I am going to use 5 browns.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go from Cambridge all the way to
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Straight route.
Yes, please.
Okay, so brown actually goes up by 1, 2, 3, 4, and the key to the city, so it goes up by 5.
Whoa.
It's huge.
Crikey.
And I get an
You get
influence
influence
orange and
in.
brown.
Oh, that's a good move. Look at that. Stonking move.
There's only one move, I think. I think I'm going to buy that white share.
Yeah.
Because it gains you, Paul, 2 points? But it gains me 9. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Please.
There you go. End of the game has been triggered. So you spend 1 influence in white.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So at the moment, me and you are both getting 9 points for each of our white shares.
Mm-hmm.
Me going up on there is not going to change that. So I've got the last move of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm tempted. If there's a tie for influence, you both get the first, and there is no second. So actually, my orange shares, right now, they're only worth 4.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get 1 influence in orange, suddenly my shares become worth 8. And that's worth 4 points. What about grey? At the moment, my grey shares are worth 7 each, and there's nothing I can do to make them worth 9. So I think that's it for grey. I'm happy with them. The white shares, all I could do is cost you some points.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm probably best gaining 1 influence with orange.
Okay.
Because that gets me 4 points.
You could take a brown from here.
I could just take a brown to there.
Easy.
I'm just thinking, is there anything else, like a brown, so an orange and an orange and a white would be perfect. Is there an orange and a white somewhere? There is. Blackpool, my hometown. Can I get from Blackpool to Blackpool with the 1... Maybe if I stretch the train out and go all the way around Manchester, because we don't want to go to Manchester. I don't think there's anywhere else. There's certainly nowhere that brown can reach. What about grey?
You could put grey in from...
Yeah, grey to Blackpool. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll build 3-track to Blackpool. So the value of grey increases by 2. And I gain 1 influence with white and 1 influence with orange. Okay. And that is it. Game is over. It's a short game, isn't it?
Crikey.
It is a short game. Right, so we'll do the scoring. First of all, the Brown Company. Gemma has the most influence in brown, which means all of your brown shares are worth 6.
Are we scoring this on? Oh, there's a tracker on the
There's a
inside.
track. So we take your score marker.
I have 2.
You've got 2 shares, they're worth 6 each, so you get 12 points. Nick, you have joint second influence in brown, so your brown shares are worth 5 each.
Just here, please.
You have 1 brown share, you get 5 points. I have no brown shares. Now we have the Grey Company. Nick, you have the most influence in Grey, so your Grey shares are worth 9 each.
So that's 18 points.
2 of them are 18, so you're on to 23.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Gemma have joint second, so our shares are worth 8 each. I have 4 of them, so that's 32. You have one, so that's 20. Next, the Orange Company. We're all tied with the most influence, so all of our shares are all worth 8 each. Gemma, you've got 3, so that's 24. Nick, 2,
So that's about
16, so 39. And I've got 1, so I got to 40.
Okay.
And the final company is White. I have the most influence in White, so my shares are worth 9. I have 2 of them, so that's 18. There we go. Second most influence is Nick.
Oh yeah, 8.
Your shares are worth 8. You have 2 of them, so that's 16.
Yep.
Gemma, your third, your white shares are worth 4.
I've only got 1.
You got 1 of them, so it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. That is the scoring.
We didn't get very far, did we?
We didn't get very far.
I know why, though.
This is our first time playing this map. If we played it again, we might play differently. It's just the way that these companies went. I mean, Tony's played it a lot more. Aren't you obligated to build the shortest route possible? Yes, I did, didn't I? I think we did. Yeah, 35 minutes. That was short. It's normally 45 minutes for a game, but as I said, the UK map does use 1 fewer share for each company. But I thought the Brown Company was going to get going at the end. And you used it well to build and really boost the value of Brown near the end.
Yeah.
But I was tempted to do something similar, but because I didn't have any Brown shares, didn't bother with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did get as far as here, but we didn't get anywhere further north than Middlesbrough and Blackpool. But I'd definitely play this map again because I think we didn't unlock. So Amsterdam, Dublin, Aberdeen, really, or the Isles of Scilly down here. You gain 1 influence with each.
Yeah.
With each thing.
I think it went so quick simply because we were buying lots of shares quickly when they were low because we didn't want to give them to anyone else for free.
Yeah.
I think that felt to me why this game was quicker than it could have been, and why we also didn't get so far because we were just sort of blitzing the cheap shares. Every time someone built 1 bit of route, we built a share. Bought a share as quickly as we could. Because I thought when we were talking about it before that
you thought this would last a while.
Yeah.
Will saying this is his experience with the game, so yeah, they never reached the west coast of USA. So yeah, the base game comes with a USA map and a Europe map, and everybody starts off on the east coast of the USA, and it is quite rare that people ever actually get to the west coast before the game's ended.
Yeah.
Europe map is a little bit different. Yeah, I think we're all done.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the UK map. So, as Tony mentioned earlier on, there's going to be 3 other maps in the expansion as well. Taiwan is one of them, Japan, and I think there's going to be another one as well. And it's going to be going, I believe, on Kickstarter next week, I think. Can't quite remember, and right now, my ideas are asleep.
Okay, right.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning over in Taiwan at the moment, so Davey's gone to sleep.
Yeah.
But that's it. That is how the UK map works. It's not just one tweak, it's actually quite a few tweaks.
It's really different.
I love the way that the White Company works very differently. Whether we used that properly or not, I mean, we got the rules right, but whether tactically, it's quite different in the way that the White Company works. So yeah, congratulations, Tony, on designing not just, here's a different map for Mini Express, but play the same game. Actually changing it and making it quite thematic to what was happening.
This is good as well. I think that
You like that?
adds something extra.
What does that remind you of? Reminds me of something.
Would it be another Tony Boydell game?
It would.
By any chance?
What would that be, Gemma? The white cubes in Snowdonia and Alabari.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that just speeds the game up.
It's nice because it adds...
I like it. I think that's great.
It just adds extra trains into here, which allows you to build longer routes, which thematically is the introduction of the faster trains. So, yeah. Right. We're all done.
Lovely.
Thank you very much for everybody for watching. Thank you very much to all of my Patreon supporters for funding the channel. Obviously, if you like the videos that I create, give the video a thumb, leave me a comment. Thank you very much to everybody for watching live and keeping us company and keeping us honest. But I think we remembered things, apart from the compensation. Apologies for that. I'm always forgetting the compensation. But yeah, as I say, if you're interested in the new map expansion, it is going to Kickstarter, I think, next week. So keep an eye on that if you're interested. But for now, we're going to head downstairs and have some peanut butter cupcakes. Thank you very much, Gemma. So the only reason I invite them round, I get cupcakes every time. Right, cheers, guys.
Cool.
We'll see you later on.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.